What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Private KJ back with another video, Shot Callers Podcast, whatever you like to call it. So we're going to be talking about the 120 games. This is going to be more of a quicker video. I didn't have much time to upload this because I don't know what was going on, but for some reason it just wouldn't let me upload. I just kept coming up with errors. So I'm going to make this a little bit quick because I know the 122 games, 23 games are playing. No, yeah, the 123 games are playing right now. So I apologize for that. We're going to be talking about yesterday's games, though. Let's make this a little quick. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. Ladies, gentlemen, and ballers, Bradley Beal's still not been traded. It's day 8. So let's keep it going, Washington Wizards fans. All right, we'll be talking about the Raptors versus the Heat, 76ers versus the Celtics, Hawks versus the Timberwolves, Kings versus the Knicks, Pistons versus Rockets, and that'll be it. All right, and without further ado, let's get this started. So first up, we got the Raptors and the Heat. The Heat really couldn't score on offense consistently. Like, they had so many dry spells, and it was another great defensive win by the Raptors. And I think it's showing the impact of Jimmy Butler. It showed in Minnesota most definitely, and it showed on Philly. And I think it's starting to show on the Miami Heat. Now, the Heat are missing a lot of other key players, like Tyler Hero recently, but Jimmy Butler is definitely being missed. Bam can't carry this offense, and Duncan was getting picked up full court. I have that in my notes. Bam was basically getting the offense run through him, and he did a good job and all, but he just didn't have the supporting pieces to where it really worked out. Like, they scored 75 points before they put in their basically their G leaguers and end of the bench unit type players. And Duncan Robinson was getting shot. They just wouldn't let him catch the ball or anything like that. So, it's pretty hard when you don't have your main players. But from the Raptors' perspective, they let them back in the game at one point, but they went out back to a 20-point lead, and they lost their identity while doing that. They were playing bad defense during that stretch, and taking horrible shots, where instead of letting their defense fuel their offense and getting easy fast break points and turnover points and stuff like that. OG Anunoby had a really big game, by the way, and the Raptors picking it back up is something I'd really like to see, as they were a true contender, I thought, last year, before we found out that Pascal is really not that superstar that we thought. But they're starting to pick it back up. I still don't buy that they are true contenders, but I still think they can be a top team in the East. Next, we have the 76ers versus Celtics. Joel Embiid dominates again. Like I said before, Tice and Tristan Thompson cannot stick him. It was unbelievable. Jaylen Brown exploded, though. He had 42 points. Celtics didn't give up as they fought there and clawed their way back in the fourth quarter. They were kind of down by 11 or 12 at one point, and then just never gave up, which is pretty impressive. I want to talk about Ben Simmons, though, because if you watch that whole game, the first 3 quarters he had 3 shot attempts. By the end of the fourth quarter, he finished with 15 points or something like that. And I'm not saying 15 points is special or anything, but what I took away from that is watching Ben Simmons be aggressive in the fourth quarter, and I'm just sitting there wondering, why can't he do that the first 3 quarters? Now, no one is expecting Ben Simmons. No one is just no, you have to average 25 points or anything like that. But all we want is an aggressive offensive Ben Simmons, whether that's driving to the basket and kicking out or scoring. I'm watching him, and he's just dominant. He's literally just rim running. He's going to the rim, because he has a right and a left hand, which is something very unique. He can finish with both hands very well. And I've been watching him hit these sky hooks, these acrobatic finishes. I'm thinking, where was this the first 3 quarters? Matter of fact, where was the first entire part of the season? So I'm really hoping this is something he can build on, because I really want, and I wish Doc Rivers would just kind of implement that into his head, be aggressive, because you can really be that guy. So I hope he builds off this. It was great defense by the 76ers as well. Tobias Harris was on fire this game. At one point, he was 9 for 10. Seth Curry being back definitely showed his spacing. I don't remember if the box score really indicates that, but you could definitely tell if you watch his presence was felt. They had to stick Curry, and Curry did hit a couple big shots. And Tatum not being there is definitely missed, and you can definitely tell. So I just want to point that out. But next we'll go to the Hawks versus Timberwolves. I was never a buyer of the Timberwolves being a playoff team in the West. Terrible defense. There's really only defender Josh Okogie, and he can't even shoot. a mediocre offense in the West, at least in my opinion. Like, I never bought Timberwolves being a playoff team, especially being in the West. And speaking of defense, like I said, they can't play defense to save your life. Like, bro, there's a clip on Twitter and on Instagram that you can find. It was Malik Beasley and who was the other guy? But they're running a pick and roll for Trae Young. Both of them pick up on the big man. Trae Young legitimately had 5 seconds to shoot. He stood there, shimmies, like shakes his shoulders. Go find the tweet. Shakes his shoulders and shoots the ball, makes a three. And I'm just thinking, like, wow, that is utterly unacceptable. That cannot be happening in an NBA game. So that was, wow, like, that was just surprising. So I was in shock there. Trae Young was doing whatever he wanted, though, whenever he wanted. Shout out to Clint Capella, though. He had a triple-double in blocks. That was truly remarkable. The scary part is that if the Timberwolves continue to be bad, the top 3 protected pick goes to the Warriors if it falls in the top 3. And that can be scary. Like, imagine if they can get, like, someone like Cade Cunningham to go with James Wiseman for their future, along with having Curry and Thompson. That is legit. But this is a great win for the Hawks, the team that they should have beat. And I like seeing that the Hawks beat the teams that they should beat, because I think that will truly show their growth into becoming a true playoff team. I don't think they're ready yet to be a title contender, but I think they need to show that they need to beat the teams they're supposed to so we can get a better understanding of what they can really be in the future. So next we have the Kings versus the Knicks. This one's a little short, but the Kings down the stretch hit their shots. Julius Randle was feasting on Marvin Bagley, though. I mean, Marvin Bagley just can't play defense or couldn't guard him. He was like too little, like he was getting out-muscled by him. Julius Randle should 100% make the All-Star team this year. As long as the Knicks are at least a half-decent team and continue to keep their course, Julius Randle should 100% make the All-Star team, no doubt about that. Tyrese Halliburton, though, is my rookie of the year right now so far. I'm pretty sure he's a lot of people's over LaMelo Ball. But Halliburton, I've watched him, and he's just so good when he looks like he's been in the league for at least a couple years. And that's really nice to have in the Kings play. I really like, and I like his defensive upside as well on the perimeter, so I like that. De'Aaron Fox continues to impress. The Kings should really consider trading Buddy Hield, and I want to talk about this in a video on its own eventually, I think. But Buddy Hield, I think, would be a good trade asset because, one, the Kings are not making the playoffs this year. Throw it out the window. You haven't fired Luke Walton. I don't know what you guys are doing. I think if you trade if you trade Buddy Hield, you can probably get a first rounder from that and get a better shooting guard without having to pay Buddy Hield the whatever amount of money you paid him. And RJ Barrett's picking it back up on shooting wise. I like what he's been doing lately. So yeah. And last but not least, we have the Pistons versus the Rockets. Jeremy Grant for MVP. I will always petition for Jeremy Grant. I petitioned for Jeremy Grant for the past 2 years to get more minutes, to get more involved because I think he was being held up. I think he was, how do I explain this? He wasn't being shown to his capabilities in Denver. And I'm glad to see that it's going off in Pistons or in Detroit. Now, the Pistons are garbage. They suck. But Jeremy Grant's averaging 25 points per game on good efficiency. I love to see that. That's my man's. Blake Griffin was better at least this game. He was more impactful. Like I said, I'm not sure if the box score, because I actually did not catch most of this game. I'm not sure if the box score, but in the fourth quarter, at least Blake Griffin's impact I thought was there. Even if the box score, like I said, does not show that. Honestly, though, the Pistons, I'm very confused on what their plan is. So I'm so lost because they don't play their young players a whole lot. I'm watching Mason Plumlee sometimes get like 30 minutes a game. Blake Griffin get 30 minutes a game. And I don't know. I'm just very confused by that. Dwayne Casey is known for not exactly playing his young players. At the end of the day, if you're going to be bad, you got to play your young players at least more than what they have been doing. From the Rockets' standpoint, though, the Rockets continue to play hard. No Christian Wood, and they got the win. Stephen Stiles, once again, I always talk about that man being a great coach, and once again, he's proving he's going to be a good coach, even though, of course, it's just against the Pistons. But getting his team to play together, I like to see that. DeMarcus Cousins played really bad, though. Poor defense. He shot really bad today. I think this kind of shows like how far from grace he's really fallen because of the injuries. Now, I think this is just kind of showing that his stint in the NBA from now on will be a backup big man. It's sad to see that, but that is reality. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but I think as a backup big man, that's his role from now on. And last but not least, Peter Tucker has a good trade value, and if they decide to trade him, I think they can get a lot of good stuff for him. But that'll conclude the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and Shot Caller Podcast out. I'll see y'all later.